So let's get you the ground truth. We have Fox Weather Meteorologist Michael Estime live in Hilo. Michael, good to see you. Morning time for us, but nighttime for you. During your day, before you lost the sunlight and before we went into the nighttime hours, how are things looking at the beachfront?
Yeah, Haley and Britta, good morning, or I should say aloha to both of you. And yeah, you're right. Yesterday we had an opportunity to head to some of the east-facing beaches, and let me tell you something. We have great video that we were able to capture of enormous waves crashing on the coastline. And here's the thing. So we're not actually expecting those peak wave heights, and it depends on which island you're on, but we'll start here, of course, with where we are right now in Hilo. We're really not expecting peak waves until around midnight tonight into early tomorrow morning, when we could be seeing upwards of 9 to 12-foot waves. So that's going to produce a really intense rip current, as you know. And that can be, as the National Hurricane Center is saying, and even the local National Weather Service is saying, that can be life-threatening. So you really got to make sure that you take that seriously. There's a couple of different threats, of course, that we're monitoring as Kiko makes its closest approach. We're expecting that by about 8 a.m. tomorrow morning on the island where we are right now, the big island of Hawaii. But it's light to moderate rain that we're expecting. Nothing terribly heavy, although a ½ inch to 1 inch of rain is expected. Here's the thing, though, in the highest of elevated regions, and keep in mind here on the big island we have Mauna Kea, which is a dormant volcano. It stands at 13,796 feet. We could see upwards of 3 to 5 inches of rain up that way. So I think that we could perhaps see some coastal inundation with flooding. We actually have some video, and I'm not sure if it's queued up, but where at our hotel they actually sandbagged some of the basement level floor doors just in case and to be on the safe side, which I think is a wonderful idea. You guys mentioned it before, but I want to make mention of it again, that we're expecting winds upwards of 20, 30, perhaps upwards of 40 miles per hour at times. I think the 40-mile-per-hour range is going to be isolated Tuesday and Wednesday. But there is a fire threat that I'm more concerned about, too. Right now, 68% of the state of Hawaii is under a drought of some sort, with 1% of the big island under an extreme drought. 1% might not seem like a lot, but when you're talking about an island that's about, 4,000 square miles, that equates to 40 square miles are under an extreme drought. So fire threats, as we unfortunately learned in years past here in Hawaii, are going to be a big concern moving forward. I also want to mention the fact that when we talk about the big wave heights, keep in mind that this is also during a lunar phase where we have a big, bright, beautiful full moon behind us, and that almost acts like a king tide, if you will. So we could see enhancements in those wave heights. By the way, in Maui, Tuesday morning at about 10 a.m., 9 to 12 footers, Oahu, 9 to 12 footers Tuesday evening, and then up toward Kauai, that's the most northern and western island, by Wednesday morning, about 6 to 9 feet. So guys, a lot that we're keeping our eyes on here. And real quick, we did have an opportunity to speak with Ryan Burns. He's on a work trip here in Hawaii. Here's what he had to say.
I'm from Indiana. We obviously don't have those in Indiana. So on one side, kind of excited to see how it is, but also hope it's not too bad. So a little nervous, but hopefully it's all right. I think I'm blessed with the people I work with. They gave us the heads up. I would just say, if you are here, read and take it seriously. I think for us, coming from the mainland, we don't see it too often, or it might just be more of a, oh yeah, this might come our way, but I would say, still take it serious.
Yeah, I feel like people are prepared just in case. As you mentioned before, we're expecting for Kiko to stay well north of the Hawaiian Islands, thank goodness. On its closest approach, though, guys, perhaps upwards of 50 miles away.
Well,
Haley,
Michael,
Thane?
I mean, we can't help but notice the Buc-ee's hat on the guy that you interviewed. So that just goes to show how many people that maybe are not Hawaiian locals who don't understand. They hear, okay, a hurricane coming towards Hawaii, the different implications. You had mentioned over the weekend that you were traveling with some honeymooners and just overall vacationers that weren't aware. What kind of level of, let's say, I don't want to say panic, because hopefully that's not what's happening, but the different kind of ways that tourists are managing reactions, yes, to then what locals have been sort of reacting to something like this?
Yeah, Haley, I think that's a wonderful question. And I think that there is a sense of preparedness. I will say, though, when we spoke with some of the honeymooners day before yesterday, they were like completely oblivious to the fact that there was a hurricane that was, 485 miles away is where it is right now. But I think at this point, people are aware that there is a big tropical disturbance, a big hurricane that's just to the east of us. But there's a sense of preparedness. We stopped off at a grocery store earlier, and one of the clerks was telling me that folks there, they've noticed an increase in the number of people just kind of gathering some food and supplies just in case. But again, at this point, no one's hitting the panic button. What we've heard, we certainly hit that prepared button.
Good.
Yeah, always good to hear. It's good to be prepared. Not so helpful to be panicked, but I do understand why the honeymooners were just oblivious, as they should be.
Right.
In love and happy.
Yeah.
Michael Estime, thank you so much for the update. And good evening to you, sir. Always tough when you have such a big time change. So, yeah, we're thinking about you with the time difference. That's Michael Estime reporting live in Hilo, Hawaii. We'll check in with you soon.